Hey guys, thanks for clicking on the link and taking a look at my video. This is ES49er and my name is Ed. Um, this is one of the first videos that I've got coming out of a couple of gadgets that I bought. Um, I kind of like to go out and do a lot of research before I buy stuff. And sometimes I don't get all the information that I want. I have to look at 15 different videos and 15 different administrative manuals and whatnot. So I kind of want to make a few just as a hobby to try to answer as many questions as I can about stuff that I buy and kind of let you guys, see what you're getting into when you buy stuff. First thing I'm doing here is I bought this D-Link router. It is an N300. It's also referred to as a DIR-605L. Now I bought this for my mom. It's not a super expensive, super fancy, super technical router. It's a nice little wireless router that allows you to go ahead and plug it in and, connect your laptop or connect your phone or your tablet to it in case you don't have a wireless router at home from your internet provider. A lot of the internet providers nowadays will give you the cable modem or they'll give you the DSL modem, but then they want to charge you another $10, $15 a month for a wireless router, right? And this is a nice little way to avoid that cost. I bought this for my mom because she's in that situation where she's with a new internet provider and they want 15 bucks a month for a wireless router. I said, Mom, don't worry about it. Just get the basic stuff and I'll hook you up. So I bought her this router, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and unbox it, go through it, and then I'm going to go through a nice little setup, one out of the box, right? And then if you want a little bit more security, I'll show you how to configure it. Which is what I'm going to do for my mom, so you guys can watch that. So what we're looking at, like I said, is right here, the D-Link N300 router. I'll put this link in the description. It is a nice little router. Okay, it does meet all the IEEE standards. It works at this frequency right here, so 2.4 to 2.48. Two fixed antennas. I think they have a little give and way. We'll take a look at that. So they're not super fixed where you can't move them around. Security, you've got WPA, WPA2. I think it has a mix where you can hard set either one, or you can do a WEP, and then you can do WPS as well. And a few advanced features, which is pretty cool for this. You've got wireless intrusion alert, or, new firmware. You can, do user control access for users. It does port forwarding and a couple other things. Some other advanced firewall features. Maybe you're into gaming or something, so it has NAT support, SPI, anything like that. So it is a nice little router. Didn't cost me too much. I bought it on sale at Best Buy for $19.99. Very simple. Very for it's kind of geared towards non-technical people. Although it does have a lot of technical features, but it's easy enough to set up out of the box for somebody that's not technical. Somebody like for my mom that I bought, right? I'm actually going to configure it for, but I'll show you how easy it is to configure out of the box without having to worry about all that, being super technical. I'm in IT myself, been in IT for years, so comes as second nature. So I try to explain as much as I can. So yeah, let's take a look at it now. So I'll switch on over here to my webcam and we'll take a look at it. So this is the D-Link right here. Not too bad a size, right? It's a pretty small router. Like I said, it was $19.99 at Best Buy. I'll put that link in the description as well. It was on sale. It was down $8 from $27.99. So even at full price, it's not a bad deal. So as we open it up here, let's take a look at what we got inside. Here is the wireless router itself. As you can see, it does have two antennas. As I was saying before, they are not super fixed as it says on the box. You can move them and rotate them this way, and you do have a few positions to bend out this way, which is pretty cool. So they're not 100% fixed, which is all right. Okay. It does have 4 ports for you to be able to plug in devices. Obviously, one port for the incoming internet and the port for the power. So if you have a printer or maybe a desktop that you want to plug in, doesn't have wireless, you have the ability to do that, right? As well as the wireless that you have. So that's the router. Configuration card comes with it. Your owner's manual comes with it, and I dropped that actually a little bit earlier as I was opening that back up. And that's all it is right here, right? owner's manual. Configuration card is very important. This is going to contain your information of what you need to be able to connect it out of the box, right? Um, so make sure that you don't lose that card. You've got Ethernet cable that they bring here. Looks like a Cat 5, Cat 6. It is about 2 feet long. That's pretty cool. That's good size. And then obviously your power supply. This is a 5 volt, 1.2 amp. So if you're going to use another power supply, if you lose this one, make sure you take a picture of this, write it down, because if you put any other power supply and connect it to this, you could run the risk of of um, really blowing that out. And that's another reason I bought this for my mom, is that she did do that to the last router that I bought her, and she burned it out. So here we go again. She's got a new ISP, and so I'll get her new router to go with that. All right. So you'll excuse me for just a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to pause this. I'll go ahead and put it back on display here. It's going to take me just a couple of seconds here to plug this in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go plug it in and get this bad boy powered up. Okay. So we can take a look at what we can do with it out of the box. So very easy to do, like I said, right? You take your router, you plug in your power supply, which is what I'm doing now. You won't be able to see me, obviously, but I'll talk you through it. I plug this power supply into an outlet, an available outlet. Here we go. And then what I do is I take that 2-foot cable, I plug it into the yellow port that says internet, and then I take that yellow port and then I'll plug it into one of my ports on my router that's coming out, so I can get that data to start flowing through. So my router's powering up now, and basically what you're going to want to do after you plug it in, you're going to be ready to go almost. Just a couple steps you got to do. So step one is to pull up that configuration card. What I'll do is I'll made a copy of mine here. This is what that configuration card looks like, you know, out of the box. So notice that we've got a couple of informations here. We've got our wireless network name. That's your SSID. So when you go to like Starbucks or anything like that and you get that free Wi-Fi, you know how it says Starbucks, right? That's the SSID. That's your network name. So for here, they give us one of Dlink-5A9A. Cool. And they give me a password for that network. So again, when you go to Starbucks, if it's not free, they're going to say, you know, there's a guest password, ask for it, right? If it is free, you won't need a password, you'll just connect to it. That's the difference between a secure and a non-secure network. So if you don't use a password, that's not very secure. It's not very smart to have it that way. Anybody could just pull out in front of your car, in front of your house in a car, sit there for 5 hours and use your network, right? So you definitely want to have some security with it. Out of the box, we've got that. Our Wi-Fi name, SSID, is Dlink-5A9A, and my password is going to be that CFEGC. So these are generated randomly from the factory and then hard-coded into the box. So when you do a reset, if you have to do a reset, it'll always go back to that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on over here and I'm going to go over here to my network, and I'm currently hardwired in, right, on this box, and I'll go ahead and click this so I can see my network. And there's my hardwired network. I've got my Wi-Fi turned off, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it on so I can see what wireless devices I've had there I can connect to. So I've got my NCC 1701. That's my wireless network. And then I've got a Sudlink, so that's a neighbor's. Oh, what do we have here? Dlink-5A9A. So she's already online. She's ready to accept somebody connecting to her. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and connect to her, right? And it's going to ask me to connect, and then it's going to ask me for a password, and I'll type that password in, and then we'll connect. So as I'm doing this, I could cut out for a couple seconds, so please excuse that. I do not want to connect automatically because this is just a one that I'm setting up for my mom. If this was going to be an all-time thing, I would connect to it automatically. So when my system powers up, it just automatically connects to the Wi-Fi, right? I'm going to hit connect, and it should ask me for a password, and here we go. And we're going to put in CFEGC19925, right? And I'm going to go ahead and redo that because I screwed up. So again, we're going to connect and see FEG C19925. And I might just cut off here for just a couple seconds while that's transferring over to that wireless network. So please forgive me. And I'm going to go ahead and next. Do I want to do all devices? Yes. And it should connect me. All right. So now I'm connected to that D-Link 5989. However, I am still not working off of that, right? I'm not working off of that because I am currently connected via hardwire. So that icon anywhere you see down here on the network, that's my primary, right? I'm working off of this. So if this goes, you know, tits up, as they say, or I lose connection, it's automatically going to pick up with a D-Link. So what I want to do, because I'm not sure right now if the D-Link's working or not. I know I'm connected to the router, but just to make sure, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and connect to this uh, network. I might cut out for just a second. And now that I'm connected to that wireless network, yeah, when I disconnect my NCC 1701, up here, what's going to happen is I'm going to be working on this wireless. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, and you're going to notice the NCC 1701 connected at the top is going to disconnect. So I'll go ahead and disconnect that now. Right. And so I've disconnected that. So I should be on wireless now. And you're going to know that you're on wireless because at the very bottom of the page, by the networking, that's now changed from a screen and a plug to the wireless icon. So I'm currently now working at wireless. I don't have any physical hardwire. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to this D-Link 59 or 5A9A. It should be working because I've got it plugged into my cable modem as well. So we'll do that. And I might just cut out for a second here. Then I'm hoping she reconnects. I don't know if you can hear me yet. I'm assuming you can. Yeah, so there I am connected, 5A, 9A, right? I can disconnect at any time. I was able to go to Google, and you know, I don't have the best internet connection where I'm at right now. But as you can see, I am connected wirelessly. See now, it was that easy. I plugged it in. I put in the network and a password. Oh, it's actually pretty good. I've got a 40 meg line here, and for wireless going up to 35 almost, 36, almost all the way to 40. Wow. I'm maxing out. I'm actually going a little bit over. That's great. So as you can see, it's not bad for being wireless. 20 bucks, you know, 25 bucks. Um, and I am connected via that network very easily. That took me 3 minutes to do, right? Maybe 5 minutes at the most. Um, so that's great information for me. Um, that's it. I'm done. I'm working, right? But if you guys want this to be a little bit more secure, you know, obviously you don't want to use, let's say that you don't want to use this information, you don't want this network name, you don't want this password. That's obviously something that you do to be a little bit more secure. You can configure the router, right? So how do we configure the router? Well, the first thing we got to do is we got to plug into the router, right? You can't do it on wireless, I don't think. We can try. So the router IP, if we open that configuration card again, is 192.168.01. So let's try it and see what we get. 192.168.01. We'll see if it let us open up that router. No, it will not let us open up that router over wireless. So how do we configure the router, right? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and plug my computer into the wireless router that we just bought, right? So what I'm doing is I'm taking that cable now, I've walked over to the wireless router and I'm plugging into one of the ports, the cable from this computer into that new wireless router that I bought. Right. And now you can see that my hardwire link is calling out that D-Link. That's going to be my hardwire link, right? And you can see down here the icons changed to physical. So now I'm on the D-Link still, but I'm on the physical network because I plugged into it. Now because I'm directly plugged into it, I should be able to access that router. Yeah, sure enough, says D-Link up here. Boom. Hey, Ed, welcome to the D-Link Easy Setup Wizard. Let's walk through it. Let's set it up. English, of course. Got a variety of other languages. Let me go ahead and start that. Do I want to auto detect or manual? I can go manual, but it is a lot of stuff that you need to know, right? A little bit more stuff that you need to know, like what provider, what do you want static IP? Do you want a DHCP? If you don't know, let it auto detect, right? That's always the easiest thing to do. What it does is it goes out and looks at your internet connection and it says, hey, you currently have somebody assigning IPs to your systems that you connect to this network. So it'll say, okay, you have DHCP, right? You don't have to know that stuff. These wizards are pretty smart to go out and find that. So what it's going to do once it does find that, it's going to come back with some information for you. So one of the first information is, yeah, hey, we noticed that you're on DHCP network. Your internet connection is DHCP. If you want to know what that is in more detail, you can click on that. But basically, what this means is that there's a system out there that's assigning IPs to every device that joins the router. Okay, it says, hey, your address number 1, your laptop's address number 2, your pad's address number 3, so that way they don't have conflicting IP addresses. Next, it goes over to your wireless settings. It says, hey, this is your current network name, right? And the current network key. That's exactly what we had on the card, right? I can disable that, so all I have is my network name and no key, but that wouldn't be too smart, right? That's an open network. Remember, you go to Starbucks, it says free, you log in, it doesn't even ask for your password. You don't want that. You want to definitely have some type of security, right? And out of the box, WPA, WPA2 recommended. So, go with it. And then obviously you can put in your key name or you can auto generate the key. Makes it even more difficult for somebody to figure out, that password. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to go ahead and change this for my mom now. And I'm going to call this Gammy's Place. She's going to love that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in her password. And this is just a test password, right? I'm going to go and change this later so you guys don't go by Gammy's Place and start putting in and start using free. This is just an example, and in fact, I'm going to change Gammy's Place because she'll kill me if I put that on there. But the idea is now I've changed this. So when she goes to her house and she turns on her laptop or somebody turns on their tablet or their phone, they're going to see that the network available is Gammy's Place. She's going to give them the password to put in, and boom, they're going to be on the network, right? So we're going to go ahead and hit next on this. As we hit next, now we're going to configure the password to access this router as an administrator. Out of the box, the username is admin lowercase. It's on the configuration. Oh, uppercase, I'm sorry, admin. And then what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and use a password, right? So we're going to go ahead and type in a password that we want to use. So that way we can access this router at any time so we can configure it. Maybe change passwords, change, settings, do what we need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put this setting as central. So central time, US, Canada, enable daylight savings time, definitely, and I'm going to hit next. This should kick off the configuration for this, shouldn't need anything more, and then she'll be ready to go, right? There are a couple other features that you can access on here if you want to do port forwarding, if you want to do even more security on your wireless network, if you want to do some LAN information, if you're going to do direct connect, anything like that. So I can show you that, show you where it's going to ask you actually if you want to update your firmware, go check for new firmwares. It is a pretty cool little manageable router, right? And that's what you want. You want to be able to have something that you can do something with. And you can always check what the new versions as well are for the firmwares just by going to the D-Link site and checking that hardware, right? Here we go. It's redoing. Now it wants me to log in again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to log in with the password that I gave it. Boom. Hey, here's your current settings. DHCP. Yeah, we know that. I'm connected. Cool. Here's your network name. Gammy's Place. Has encryption. What's the encryption? Oh, it's WPA or WPA2. And here's the password. Obviously, we're going to see that. Here's the device info, so you can log in with admin and password, just like I did, right? I can connect this to my D-Link account if I have one. Don't have one right now, but you can do that, right? If we want to go to advanced, we can click advanced, and you're going to have just some more options you can see here. So here's my internet connection options, right? What was it? Static IP. If I want to give it an IP, in my case, remember, I have somebody giving me IP, so I don't have to worry about that. So that means that I don't have to worry about the rest of this. It automatically populates everything here, right? I can look at my wireless connection again. I can change the network name. I can reset pins. I can decide to make this wireless router an access point. Right now it's a wireless router. If I just want it to be an access point or a WDS, I can do that, right? I can change again my SSID. I can have more different types of security. Right now I have a WPA, WPA2 mix. I can have WPA2 only or WPA or a web or maybe disable it, right? I can do that. I can change my token word down here. Okay, LAN setup is just some more information about what you're doing here, right? Here's my router settings. This is the IP that I have for the router right now. Here's the DHCP server settings, my DHCP client list. So I only have one system connected to this router right now, right? And then if I have any DHCP reservations that I want to do, and that's a little bit for you, more your advanced guys, right? My time and date settings, parental control rules. If I want to block certain things, right, certain devices, I can do so. If I go to advanced, then I'm going to go be able to see port forwarding. I can do application rules, MAC filtering. So maybe I don't want certain systems on my on my network, ACL filters, traffic controls, firewalls and DMZs, advanced wireless settings. So this is a little bit more advanced than what you would do, but I'm just kind of go through it so you can see. And then obviously maintenance is going to be, you know, what firmware is it? What dynamic? Hey, do me a system check. Hey, look at the schedules. Hey, look at the log settings. You know, ultimately log out. So it is a nice little router for the price. It does have a lot of advanced features that, you know, your normal mom and pop ain't gonna do. But it's easy enough for you to go ahead and give it to them, and they can out of the box set it up and off they go, right? But if not, you can even go in and do that easy setup and change things to have them as you see fit. Is that okay, guys? So if I missed anything, if you have any questions on that, you know, please leave a comment. I'll try to get back to you. No problem. If there's anything else you might want to see about it, maybe I could do a follow-up video. I'll be doing a few of these for different stuff. I like to buy, you know, a lot of gadgets and a lot of different things. And I've got a 5-year-old daughter, so a lot of different toys as well. And I like to make sure that I know what I'm buying. So I'll be doing a few of these videos on other stuff as well. So, you know, please come back, visit me. And always, you know, thanks for clicking on the videos. We appreciate your time.